All right, what is going on, guys? Got another breakdown for Dana White's Contenders series, week two. This one's at welterweight. We got Billy Goff taking on Shimon Smotrisky. For Smotritsky, this will be his second appearance on the Contender series after he got choked out by Mike Malott last time out. Very early stoppage. Just got caught in the guillotine. But he's going to be 2 inches taller. He's going to be 4 inches taller. He's going to have a reach advantage of 2 inches. Both of these guys are really young. Goff is 24. Smotritsky is 21, soon to be 22 in a couple weeks. But I guess I'll start with Billy Goff. So, snagged recently this past spring, in the span of a month, he got the welterweight belt at CES, and then a month later, he steps in at short notice and gets the middleweight belt. So, both of these, I mean, that alone is a big stick to be carrying around. This guy's been fighting for a long time. He's one of those new age mixed martial artists where you can tell he's been training to be in a cage his whole life. He's got a good wrestling background. I believe he has a collegiate wrestling background or an amateur wrestling background. Either way, he has wrestling. He's definitely durable too. If you go watch this guy's fight tape over the years, he's been in some tough fights. Against Jonathan Pico, he loses that one by doctor stoppage in the first round. But it was a really tough fight. He took a lot of damage and kept fighting. It looked like it was going to be a tough fight because Pico was starting to slow down. Even on his amateur fights, since this guy was like 2021, he's taken some beatings and he still wins. So he's definitely durable. He's scrappy. Good to see. He's riding a 5 fight winning streak here. He took out Sean Lally over that time span, who fought in the Contender Series once upon a time. He was actually knocked out by Chris Curtis in the third round, but they didn't give Curtis a contract. I think that was like 2017. But yeah, he's won most of these fights by knockout. I don't know if he has a submission on his record. He has a couple ground and pound knockouts though. And again, this guy, I like his well-rounded game. He's got good forward pressure. He mixes it up to the body well. I think he has better volume than Smotritsky, but defensively, he has been dropped a few times. Like even in the CES welterweight championship fight, he got dropped by Gary Boletto Jr. before he recovers well. I mean, he got dropped and he immediately pops back up, takes him down. Or no, I think Boletto tried to pull guillotine on him. That didn't work, but he eventually gets taken down again. Goff gets the side control, just rains elbows for like a minute 20, and the fight gets stopped due to a cut right towards the end of the first round. Against Justin Sumter, again, he looked good, but yeah, I worry about the defense a little bit. Like he's definitely durable, but he can also get hit, so it's a little concerning. But all around, very well rounded mixed martial artist here. I think both of these guys are really good. Honestly, this should be a really fun fight. And then for Smatrisky, like we were saying earlier, he fought in the Contender Series last year, and got choked out by Mike Malott. Nothing wrong with that loss, man. I think Malott is very good. He fought out of the Northeast regional scene, but he's from Canada, so he came in with a lot of polish. He has some decent wins in CFFC as well over UFC caliber competition. So we didn't really get to see much of what Smotritsky can do. He's only 21, but I like what I've seen from this guy a lot. He's fought a lot on the Israeli regional scene. He's also fought in Russia a fair amount, and he's fought some solid competition. He's won all but one of his fights. The Malott loss was his only loss. He did go to a split decision with Sergey Yaskovitz. I did watch that fight. It was a split decision. I agree. It was pretty close, but I think the right decision was made. And again, like the only thing that's a little weird with this guy is he's only 21. He's looked pretty good, but he lost last year and he's immediately coming right back. So I think that both of these guys are UFC caliber. Like I really do think that the talent is there. I mean, they're both pretty young too, so maybe it's a little bit early to say that, but I've seen UFC caliber from both of these guys. What I will say about Smotritsky is he looked excellent in his last fight against William Macario, UFC veteran. He just outclasses him completely. Granted, he's not the most high caliber UFC veteran, but he was on the Ultimate Fighter Brazil. He did very good on the show. Didn't do all that great in the UFC, but if you look at his last 10 opponents, they're all solid UFC veterans or UFC caliber. And Smotritsky just beautiful performance all around. He was countering very well when he would go forward. He has very good body kicks. I like his kicking game a lot. But the counter striking in that was very good. He kind of like baited Macario to engage with them, and whenever he did, he would win the exchanges. Macario tries to take him down. He just immediately transitions onto his back. And yeah, just a solid ground and pound win there. He was never challenged. Just looked dominant in that fight. And a great bounce back performance. This guy is very well rounded, just like Goff. Uh, I think that we can give the competition advantage to Goff, maybe, but not really. I mean, Goff is fighting out of a tougher region, but Smotritsky has spent a lot of time fighting in Russia. He looked really good against the UFC veteran, and just a well-rounded game, man. It's a shame we didn't get to see much of him in the last fight. And so if we look at the odds here, they're pretty close. Billy Goff at -145, Smotritsky coming back +125, so very close. I think that the money has been coming in on Smotritsky, and honestly, man, I'm going to go with him. I initially leaned Billy Goff, but I just think that Smotritsky is getting overlooked here a little bit. I think that Goff having the double belt in CES is a big stick to be carrying. A lot of people aren't going to look past that. They're just going to assume that this guy's solid and that he's ready. And I definitely do think he's UFC caliber, but Smotritsky looked very, very good in that last fight. Billy has won his last couple fights by just being the better grappler, but I don't think that. I think if anything, it's going to be a stalemate on the ground. I think Smotritsky has good get up ability, good scramble, so I don't see Billy being able to dominate this fight on the ground. And Billy is definitely hittable. He's definitely open to counters. Smotritsky has good counters. It's going to come down to can Billy make it ugly and survive some good shots from Smotritsky. If he runs through him on the ground, I'll be surprised. I really will, but it is possible. I mean, I really can't say who has the edge on the ground. I guess we can say Billy has a slight edge. He's more credentialed, but from what I've seen from Smotritsky on the ground, he's pretty good himself. So I just don't see a big advantage either way there. And then on the feet, I like the volume from Goff. I like the forward pressure, but Smotritsky has very good ability to counter, and I just think that he's going to land the heavier shot, and Billy's not going to be able to go to his wrestling if he needs to. So not super confident. It's hard to be confident ever in a contender series fight, but I'm going to go with Smotritsky just from a dog or pass situation. I am going to make a bet on him. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure to subscribe, and take it easy.